Okay, so if you took a peek at that email there today, it does seem to imply that there could be some more bad news coming here, so I'll get into that. Just potentially another shoe to drop here, so we'll touch on that with their terminology that they use. I'll go into my usual weight control tip of the day. We'll get into just the pay structure and what's the likelihood of Vipkid changing back to the old system and just saying, okay, we've heard enough flack, we're going to go back. So I'll touch on that. And lastly, I want to talk about the black box Vipkid booking system. This is what keeps me up at night. If I'm worrying about anything, it would be this. And I'll talk to that on why I am thinking so much about this, and we'll touch on a little bit about that. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Let's get right into it. I don't know about you, but as I've mentioned, as you know, coffee is the lifeblood of a Vipkid teacher. And for me anyways, the right amount of coffee is 2 cups, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And you may say, what does that have to do with weight loss? Well, this will give you energy. It will. And if you find the right balance, don't drink too much because it is linked to causing anxiety if you drink too much. So finding that right balance for each individual is important. 2 cups works for me with food. That's the best. My focus is up, my energy is up, and not only that, I don't sleep as much at night. I don't need as much sleep. It's not like I'm tired. I don't need as much sleep either, and that's, I think, because of coffee too. So I used to drink tea in the afternoon, and I scratched that and went over to coffee, and I've got more energy. I don't need to sleep as much, and thus will burn more calories. So that is my tip of the day. Find your right dosage of coffee. Okay, let's get into just the news or the email there out today. And as I've mentioned, it looks like they're signaling there could be another shoe to drop, and I'm just speculating, but as I've mentioned, we have to speculate because we're self-employed. So we need to get ahead of this, of good news or bad news, and just be prepared for whatever may come here. So as we see, things change very quickly. So I'm going to quote exactly what was in the email or part of the email there today. So may at times include business decisions that are essential to support our growth and your success. Okay, if we remember reading the year-end email last year, that's where I said, oh, this doesn't sound good for teachers for this year. And we can see now why that is indeed the case. It hasn't been terrible, but we can see that there's been bumps along the road. And this seems to signal that they're not done of the changes as of yet. And as I mentioned in the last video, I said that they probably were given conditions X, Y, and Z to execute from the investors, and that they're likely moving on to Z. Well, I think this seems to imply that there's definitely another shoe to drop here. And the obvious shoe to drop is the $2 short-term incentive. That just is so abundantly obvious. They don't need to give that. There's a lot of teachers who are desperate for bookings. They just don't need to give that. As I mentioned, they're saving at least $10 million a year if they get rid of that altogether. So that's the next shoe to drop, I think, in the next few months. Hopefully that is it. Hopefully that's all the conditions met, and then Vipkid can be given a wad of cash to copy and paste this structure in a new country and to further support our success, which that would, because that would open up a lot more opportunities, a lot more bookings into a new country. So I think that's coming, hopefully next year anyways, for everyone's sake there. So anyways, that's what I think is coming. So maybe some bad news, but hopefully followed by some good news. Okay, now on the pay. I was thinking, I do my best thinking when I'm out running, and I was thinking, what is the only way that teachers could revolt so much that Vipkid would have to change course? And honestly, I don't think there's anything. There's a 0% chance that they're going to go back to the old system. The Titanic is out moving here, and it is not turning around. It is on course. It's going. So that's what I think. There's a 0% chance, and the reason being is because I thought, well, what is a way that potentially teachers could cause such a big uproar? And the only thing I could think of that we could do is that enough people just go on strike, basically, that there's like 10% of the teachers just go on strike. And even then, even if like 10,000 teachers just said, I'm not teaching anymore until you fix it, I still don't think that would have an impact. It wouldn't, because everyone else would pick up the slack and Vipkid probably wouldn't notice anything. So there's nothing we can do. I know that's a helpless feeling. It's sort of a like it or lump it mentality, and I'm not saying whether anything's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's inevitable. There's nothing we can do. It is what it is, I guess, at this point. Unfortunately, honestly, it doesn't impact me as much, but if you gave me the option, I would say go back to the old system, because that's for the greater good, I think, of the teachers. That's what I would say. So anyways, not that I have my opinion counts for anything, but that's what I would say for that. So rather, since we can't do anything about it, in my opinion, then what I'm focusing my attention on is this black box booking system. Let's get on to the fourth topic here now. This is what keeps me up at night, and the reason being is because this new pay structure, look what it encourages. It encourages like communism in our bookings. So what I mean by that is that Vipkid makes more money if they level out the bookings so that everyone has about the same amount of bookings. So that's a problem, at least for me, since I'm full-time. If Vipkid wants everyone to have a flat amount of bookings so that thus their costs come down, I'm going to take it on the chin for that one, and any other Vipkid teachers that are working lots. So if you're working, I said already that a lot, it's in around that 220 classes taught. So it depends on how many classes you've taught to date, yes, but in around that 200 to 230 is where the break-even point is. So Vipkid is very much incentivized to keep everyone below that number, and we don't know how that black box system works, right? We don't have any idea how that system works. What if they put something in there in their algorithm to say try and flatten out the bookings so that ones that don't have as many bookings go up to the top, and we that have lots of bookings fall to the bottom, and thus that will help flatten out the bookings for Vipkid. I want to show you a number. So, oh yeah, before I show you the number, please do like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Come back. I do videos every few days. Want to squeeze that in before I show you this. Take a look at this. What do you think this top number is? Take a guess. Oh, wait. Sorry. No dollar sign. It's not a dollar sign. So that is the amount of classes taught every year, or in 2019 anyways. So they said on average 180,000 classes is taught per day. So multiply that by 365, you get 65,700,000. And what do you think they will save if they save 50 cents each class? It's the bottom number there. So we have $32,850,000 they will save even if they cut 50 cents US off their class. Look at what they can save. Add that on top of the 10 million they can save for the $2 short-term bookings, and you see why they're doing what they're doing. And that's why it keeps me up at night, because the investors are going to see that and thus maybe encourage flattening of the bookings across the board. And as I mentioned, communism in the booking system, keeping everyone in around the same. So that's what's keeping me up at night. I don't know what we can do about it. What can you say? Leave some comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Anyways, I don't like ending on a negative note, but I would love to see your comments and what you think. That's it for today. Come back. We'll do a video in the next few days. Bye, everybody.